Hello everyone, welcome to today's worship. It looks a bit different, doesn't it? It's not quite the same page that we normally use, and that's because I found a worship that I told a little while ago, and I thought it would be useful to come back to it because it talks about Lent, which is what we're in now. We're in the season of spring. It's a time of change. I noticed in the wildlife garden that there were some crocuses, and in my garden at home there are some small daffodils starting to come out. The world changes in many ways during spring. I wonder if you've noticed that the days are a little bit longer. There's no snow anymore. It's starting to get just a little bit warmer. The world changes in many, many ways, which is why Lent is a good time to be in spring. Spring is a time to make clean and to dust. To have a good spring clean means to throw out the things you don't need anymore and clean your house from top to bottom. Spring is a time to plant new seeds that will grow and ripen. I'm looking forward to Mr. Groves showing me how to plant some seeds that will grow into fruit and vegetables that I can eat in the summertime. But it all starts in spring. Spring is also a time when Christians think about what they've done wrong and how they can change. This time is called Lent. It's a really important time that's between Christmas and the festival of Easter. And it's part of Jesus' life. The day before Lent is called Shrove Tuesday. Shrove Tuesday was last week in the half-term holiday. In some parts of the world it's called Mardi Gras, which means without fat. You can see there people tossing pancakes, people having carnivals all around the world celebrating this day before Lent begins. And what they're doing is they're using up foods that they want to give up, because traditionally Christians would stop eating certain foods during Lent. Shrove Tuesday is the day that we sometimes call Pancake Day. It's that day when we use up the eggs and milk and flour and some of the fats that Christians would have given up in years gone by. All around the world, carnivals would have taken place, but obviously, because of COVID, those carnivals have been postponed. And then we get to the first day of Lent. It's called Ash Wednesday. Christians would normally make a mark using ash, using the palm from the previous Easter on their forehead. It's a way of reminding them that all people have got things that they sometimes need to say sorry for. And Lent is a time to make those apologies, to say sorry, and to start again, making yourself a better person. So here's the question. What could you give up or do better during the 40 days of Lent? Well, it's Fair Trade Fortnight, so you could choose to buy things that were fair trade. You could give up a food that you enjoyed eating, like chocolate. But actually, I think it's better to do something rather than to stop doing something. So perhaps thinking of a way that you could help around the house. Perhaps thinking of a way that you could lend a hand or do something different. Perhaps making sure you phone someone that you know lives on their own. Making sure you're a friend to someone who's feeling sad in the best way you can during this lockdown. Doing something every day during Lent will help you be a better person. So what did Jesus do in the 40 days that we call Lent? Well, the Bible tells us that Jesus spent some time in the wilderness. A wilderness is like a desert where there is no food or no water. He spent 40 days on his own. He went there to pray and think about what God wanted him to do with the rest of his life. But the Bible tells us that when he was there in the desert, he was visited. And he was visited to be tempted, to be a different person, to be a person that God didn't want him to be. If you want to see what happened, there's a really good cartoon with a nice song that goes along that tells a story of what happened to Jesus in the desert. And if you click on the link or click on the picture, it will take you to that. And so it's time to pray. Let's put our hands together. Dear God, in these 40 days of Lent, help me to think about the ways in which I can become a better person. The things that I can do to help others. The things that I can do to help the way I behave towards other people. So that by the time we come to Easter, that not only has the world around me changed, but that I have changed as well and become a better person. Amen. And so until tomorrow, goodbye.